the opposite way. Turn your back, and then people start getting hurt that had nothing to do with it. They were getting hurt. They just don't let you do your job. All right, well, I want to thank Jennifer. Go ahead.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
on the negotiations with Congress,
Yeah.
I think the Democrats are looking to hear directly from you on what you support. Would you be willing to
I think the Democrats don't care about the people of our country. I really don't. I told my people, the Democrats do not care about the people of our country. They don't want to do what you should be doing for the people of our country, whether it's unemployment or anything else. And all they care about is the election. And they're going to lose the election. You see what's going on with the polls right now. I guess we just got one over 50%. Rasmussen just came out. You see what's going on because the people get it. The Democrats are playing for November 3rd, and we're playing for the good of the people. It is a disgrace that they're not negotiating. But they're only looking to play a political game. I happen to think it's a bad political game. I think it hurts them.
I know that they look at you and what you say publicly different from what they hear from Mnuchin and Meadows. Are you willing to spell out exactly what you want right now?
They know what I want. And what I want is I want our people to be able to live and live well because it wasn't their fault that China brought in this pandemic, that China brought in this plague. It's China's fault. You want to know the truth? China should be paying for it, and maybe they will. Maybe they will. You'll watch. You'll watch. What else?
Mr. President, if we can ask you specifically, we heard yesterday your frustrations about how long it'll take to count the ballots here. Then why are you spending more energy to get the resources and the funding for the states that they want to be able to secure this election for all Americans?
Peter, you know nothing about my energy. Okay, you know nothing about what I'm doing. Listen, you know nothing about what I do. So on NBC, I just told you about the false report that NBC put out the other night about the mayor of Portland, and this is the kind of stuff you get. You'll see what happens, and it's common sense. Everyone knows mail-in ballots are a disaster. You just have to take a look at the last recent. Take a look at New York City. Look at New York. They're still counting your ballots, Pat. Do you know that? They had a race, a small race by comparison. By comparison, tiny. It's so messed up, they have no idea there are ballots missing. Thousands and thousands of ballots are missing. They think they're going to send hundreds of millions of ballots all over the United States and it's going to come out. You won't know the election result for weeks, months, maybe years after. Maybe you'll never know the election result, and that's what I'm concerned with. It'll be fixed, it'll be rigged. People ought to get smart. And I just hope our Republican voters, the people that are for you, are going to do what they have to do. Absentee ballots are great because absentee ballots, you have to go through a process to get them, and it's actually a great thing. Absentee ballots, I'm going to be voting absentee. An absentee ballot is one thing. A universal mail-in ballot is a disaster. These governors are going to send out millions of ballots. They don't even know where they're sending them. I already have friends that got ballots for a son who died 7 years ago. You don't even want to talk about it. But the media knows this. Actually, the Washington Post wrote a great article of all groups. A week ago, the Washington Post wrote a great article that this is a disaster. This is going to be the greatest election disaster in history. And by the way, you guys like to talk about Russia and China and other places. They'll be able to forge ballots. They'll forge them. They'll do whatever they have to do. People should go and they should vote or do an absentee ballot.
So what are you doing to secure it?
Say it.
The military predominantly votes by mail or absentee.
Absentee.
And so
You didn't understand me. I said absentee ballots are actually a very good thing. Absentee ballots are secure and they're very good. But universal mail-in are a disaster. You're going to see an election and we're going to do very well in the election. Nobody wants that date more than me. I wish we'd move it up, okay? Move it up. But you're not prepared for what they're doing. And they're using COVID. You know, they're using the China virus. China must be very happy about it because they hit us with a virus and now they screw up an election like you will never see. You watch what happens. I don't think you'll ever give me any statement. I guess Trump was right, but the people know I'm right. Watch what happens. New York City has a little election. We just talked. You got to see. Do you know how far they're never going to have the result of that election? Never the correct result. They'll probably announce something at some point. But when did that take place? Like 5-6 weeks ago. Absentee ballots, great. Going to the polls, great. If you do universal mail-ins with millions and millions of ballots, you're never going to know what the real result of an election is. It's going to be a very, very sad day for our country. Go ahead.
If the system is a disaster, as you say, why not commit to putting in resources to
Oh,
fix it?
we're putting in all the resources you can. But as a couple of the radical left people said, who actually agree with me, they said, no matter what you do, we're not prepared for this. They're not prepared for an onslaught of millions of ballots pouring in. They're not prepared. They're not prepared. You watch. They're not going to announce anything on November 3rd. They're not going to announce it on the 4th or the 5th or the 6th. It'll go on forever. People should go. They voted Mick during World War I. They voted during World War II. They went to the polls. They voted. They went to their booth, and they voted proudly. But now with COVID, they don't want to vote. It's not they don't want to vote. This will be catastrophic for our nation. And you'll see it. I'm always right about things like this. I guess I must be.
But-
I wouldn't be sitting here.
but-
Yes, Jennifer, go ahead. You want something? Jennifer, do you want?
No, that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, please, in the
What is
back.
your decision to delay the election in Hong Kong? What is your opinion?
I want to right now focus on this election. I'll have a statement about that soon.
On this
I heard
topic-
that they did the delay in Hong Kong, and we'll have a statement about that, but I want to focus on
What
this.
do you think about
Sir, on this
that?
Okay,
topic-
thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
Quick question on Obama.
Let's
Sorry,
go.
welcome. Come on, guys. So why would moving
Peter,
low income people
Peter,
in the suburbs ruin the
Peter,
guys? There you
Peter,
go.
Peter.